Welcome back, folks. Dow is down 63, Nasdaq's off 9, S&Ps are off 1. Let's go over to our man, Mr. Basil Chapman. And don't forget, folks, Basil does an outstanding show here every trading day, 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time. Also has a great newsletter, The Opening Call. Now, it's beautiful. It's Tuesday. You get 3:18 in the afternoon. Guess what? 48 hours from now, 4 o'clock in the afternoon this Thursday, our man, Mr. Basil Chapman, is going to be doing a great workshop for all his subscribers. This workshop, folks, is going to be for an hour and a half. Really easy to get into. Come over to our website at TFNN. You're going to see right under featured content, live event, February 13th, dark cloud cover, an essential market analysis by our man, Mr. Basil Chapman. You just hit the opening call. As you hit the opening call, you just hit subscribe. You can get the opening call for 1 month for $128. 6 months for $595, which is a savings of $173 or 22%. A year for $995, which is a savings of $541 or 35%. Now, the reason I go through all of these, folks, is that they all come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're going to test drive it, you can test drive any one of them. You like it, great. You keep it. You don't like it, you're still going to get a great workshop. Inside this workshop, and as soon as you sign up, Basil has a lot of great archives in there. Bottom line, you get a great workshop, you get a great month of newsletters, and you're riding that wave. We got a wave out here today, Basil.
Hi, Tom. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Yourself?
What was the news that you just said? I missed that. Why market pulling back is for who resigned?
I'm not sure whether that's why the market pulled back. It's been pulling back for a while, but what ended up happening, Roger Stone was getting sentenced last night, and the Department of Justice was saying that they want to give him 7 to 9 years. Trump got in the middle of it last night with a tweet. Barr got in the middle of it today, and they decided that they're going to change, they're going to review how much time they think he should get, and then the prosecutor resigned, because the bottom line, of course, is that we'd all love it if you get in trouble and all of a sudden they change the rules, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now I understand. Okay, good. So you know what's interesting is that when we spoke last week, it was Thursday, and the market had just made the Dow had just made a new all-time high, S&P, and the Qs. And I said to you, this is one of the most complex sets of parameters that I've had to work with for a very long time, because everything about what we're looking at, especially with what's happening in China, and there has to be some kind of economic slowdown, to have a brand new buy mode in the market, in the Dow, the S&P, and the Qs at this particular time just doesn't make sense. But I have to go with my techniques. And the whole thing that I'm talking about here is this dark cloud cover. This is news. It has to do with how news affects markets and how the markets respond. It's really, for me, it's a very important component of what I look at. But sometimes my technique has to overpower everything else, and you have to be, I'm a technician, so I have to be a technician. So we went long on Friday on that sharp pullback in the Dow. And then you had that really strong candle. You can see it right here on, what are we doing today? I'm already lost. Today's Tuesday. On Monday. And today we went to a new recovery high, making a peak B, a leg B. And there's no other way I can count it. And what I've been saying to subscribers, this is very difficult. I'm going to just go with the technicals. We're going to go long. And there should somehow, some way, we should get to, in the Chapman Wave, we're always, let me just slide this across, we're always looking for at least 4 higher peaks once you get a buy mode.
Sure.
So it goes A, B, C, D. So we should still get, somehow or other, we should get, even if it's just nominal, I don't think it's too much higher than where we are in the 2900s. We should get at least a leg C and then a leg D. So that's the technical side. And then if I show you this chart, which we've been looking at for ages, it's a chart that I show. I've decided, I've spent a lot of time, I don't like these long titles for the headings of my techniques, so I'm trying to whittle it down. I prefer if I could get it down to 2 words. I've got it down to dark news cover, because the candlestick is a dark cloud cover, and I'll be talking about that, but it is so transitory, such a short-term thing. I'm talking about a dark cloud cover that pushes the market down, because that news just keeps coming back over and over. It's not a one-off where you have it and the market pulls back 400 points, but the next few days you're back at highs. You have to have a cloud cover that is, the market does not like, the market takes it negatively, and this becomes increasingly more frequent, and that's going to be it. And you can see all of these, we have been able, fortunately, within between 7 and 100 points of the top, we've been able to get each one of these. Some of them have been very brief, the tops. And yet, that green line, the 9-period moving average, never went under the 14-period black line, except for 3 days when it broke right there on the 31st of January. Remember the 600-point down day?
Yes.
And then it just took 2 sessions. Third session, it goes back to green, and that's where we are. So I'm going to teach, I'm going to explain, I'm going to try as much as possible to relate the technicals as they pertain to the fundamentals. In this case, it's the dark cloud cover. And at the same time, what I'm really looking at is, how does the market respond? And you can see, even with today's move suddenly down from an all-time high, goes down 35, 45 points. Look, the MACD is strong. Stochastic's flat at 86%. So we have to try to, as much as possible, deal with these exigencies, these things that just suddenly crop up. We have to deal with the ones that don't just crop up once. They start to come. They permeate the market. And then we also have to do the technicals. So this has been an ongoing lesson for subscribers. As we're moving along, we're doing this every day, and I'm trying to explain what we're looking at, why we're looking at. So far, it's worked out well. There are times when I have to ignore that dark cloud cover, and there are times where I have to look at it and say, nope, the technicals say that there is weakness coming, and if that coincides with more news, bad news that the market perceives as negative to the economy, that's going to be important. But in the meantime, we have stocks. I have a section in my newsletter called, we have screamers. These screamers are very low-priced stocks, single-digit usually, and I try to get them so that if they move 4, 5, 6% very quickly, sometimes in a day. We've got one today. It's up already 4.10%. It's actually up 17 cents since we got it. This is CX, which is this is the Mexican cement company.
Yes.
And there are 3 patterns here. There's the pattern that you go sideways. It's the pattern that I call the Chapman Wave stork leg formation, where you go straight up, then you form this oval. It has to be an oval-shaped body. And then when you break out, in this case, it'll break out about 438. That's called the neck. So we've been in this for a little while. We've added to it, taken some off, and it's been very good to us so far, acting very nicely. We've got another one that we just got into, I think it was yesterday, or day before, which is acting very well. Also a screamer, very nice percentage move. So within the context of what I do, I try to teach at the same time as we have positions on. You know, we can have very short-term positions. We can have very long-term. You know, remember the dollar? We got long the dollar back in April of 2018 at 90 via the UUP. Still acting very well. Those 4th highest peaks, the peak D that I was talking about, you can see in the weekly pull back. So I discuss this with subscribers. So anyone who's getting the newsletter will get the workshop, live workshop, the webinar on Thursday night, and previously recorded ones, plus the work that we do every single day.
And folks, real easy to get. Come over to our website at TFNN. Under featured content, you can see our man, Mr. Basil Chapman, opening call. Just hit that button. Basil, you have a great one, safe one. We look forward to the show tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Tom. You too.
Stay right there, folks. Come right back.
If you're not currently